Dennis to sit where Katie had been sitting?
Because Katie wasn't sitting there.
Right.
Right. And again, there's no seat assignments, but when there's empty seats, you don't want to have someone sit down in someone's seat that's already been sitting there, because that causes problems. And that arose at some point in time, but we'll get into that in some other.
Well, what isn't also mentioned, if I just interrupt briefly, the only reason they're all able to sit in one place under 24 computers under the watchful eye of 4 supervisors is because I suggested we do that. In the old days, we used to send people back to their desks all over the building and say, here, go review these petitions. Now we actually have it consolidated where the security and safety of the petitions can be reviewed much better. That's not getting mentioned in any of this. And the fact that the work gets consolidated into these 3 rows of computer tables is a good thing.
Should we congratulate you on that?
That'd be nice.
Whatever, I mean, that computer center was not set up for checking petitions, it was set up for a number of things. So I mean, if, whatever, they are all in one room, and that's how they should be, and it's, the bottom line is, the Coughlin petitions received extra scrutiny. There's just no getting around it. It's the bottom line.
Well, Mr. Chair, you know, obviously we're having differences of opinion, but I think what we can agree on is there's great uncertainty with our own board employees, with some board members, and our supervisors, that petitions weren't handled equally. So I think, at least from that, we need to, and again, Mary Jean tried to make sure that procedures were established because we had these same kind of concerns 2 years ago. But we need to ensure that there's no mistake in how to handle PC petitions when they come into this office, how they're checked, who checks them, and that they're all handled with equal scrutiny.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but would it make sense for the staff to produce a policy or procedure that's in line with the Ohio Revised Code, of course, and approval by the board?
Absolutely, I welcome that.
Are you dealing off copies of petitions, or are you dealing off originals?
Originals.
You have the copies in your office.
Yes, I think you asked me where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, right, because they weren't picked up by.
Well-
But you had flags all over.
No, those are the flags I wrote. That's my handwriting. Let's clarify the question. Are you talking about the people working at the end of the room and the table by the window? Are those originals? Yeah, those were originals. The only copies that were ever worked on was the unpicked up set by Debbie Walsh that was around that I took and put Post-its on because I didn't want to take originals back to my office. And so then I put the Post-it notes on them as to what the concerns were. I went to see if I verified it. And what's also not being said is several of them, I disagreed with the underlying and said that I thought they were perfectly fine. The signatures weren't signed by the same sign or something else. Those were among the ones Tam and I went through last night. So, I mean, it went both ways. I was looking at them and coming to different conclusions. The staff made them as questionable. It was my thought, and I'm just one person, but that they were different signatures, and I showed them. We pulled them out, and I showed them to Pam. But those were the only copies that were worked on. The set that wasn't picked up that I could take back and, again, try and expedite the process and get screen prints. It wasn't to do anything special or tricky.
Well, can we agree then that you and Brian or his successor will produce a draft copy of a procedure
The
for
successor.
board review, and that will address this issue? Okay.
Well, it doesn't address it, it just deals with the future.
Yes, it
It doesn't
does.
address the problem.
Well, what can we do about what,
Well, my concern is people came in here on public taxpayers' dollars, play parks and all of that.
well,
I don't know.
there
that
seems to
I
be a
draw the
dispute
same
on it.
conclusion that you do on that one.
Certainly, we're not concerned that additional defective or otherwise defective petitions are identified, are we?
No, we will be reviewing all of the
Okay.
invalid ones or questionable ones.
So I think to address the issue, if you would be good enough to draft a policy with the deputy director's agreement, bring it forward to the board. I'm sure the board would be delighted. I don't know what we can do about this. Is who shot John? There's a lot of hearsay here, there's disputed testimony.
It's not hearsay that Brian and Gary both told me they were only checking coffee petitions, so I mean, just to get
Well,
that straight.
It's neither hearsay nor accurate. I
You said
never,
that to me.
I said I'm not checking Congo petitions, but
No, I said, are you only checking Cogwood petitions? And you said yes.
I-
Gary said it to me in the hallway
when?
yesterday morning.
I don't know what you're, I mean, I don't know
Like me
the
take a
context.
detector test?
I don't understand, I don't even remember the context in which the question may have been posed.
Let's hear what Gary.
I
Yeah,
contradict,
go
I
ahead.
did not ever, and would not ever, even if that was the case, why would I indict myself to someone of the opposite party, especially the director, and make a statement such as that?
I asked you in the hallway, going into Sharon and Peggy's office, and you were on your way into Brian's, and I said, are you only checking Cogwood petitions? And you said yes.
I don't know how the question was posed,
That's
but
exactly
if
how-
I made a yes answer, that was not the,
Well, then
I
you-
didn't make it in that context.
That
Trust
you
me,
did.
I would not ever, I would not ever say
That
that.
is a bold-faced lie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You have your opinion.
That is a lie. That is exactly what you told
You know,
me.
you might have asked if those were only Cogwood petitions that we had copies of or something like
No,
that.
I said,
And
are you only
yes.
Well,
checking Cogwood petitions?
This is going nowhere.
Okay, I'm
Let's just
not-
drop
somebody's
it.
not
I
gonna
think
tell
we've
me I didn't say
identified the problem, or
Yes, we
the
have.
supposed problem, and we will address it going forward. I think with respect to what's happened in the past, I don't see any